Good evening, everybody. How's it going? Guess who? It's your boy, Badass Comic Crack. Shout out to Dan Elson and his wife. Um, Holy fuck, people. I found out in 3 days, I just found this out about 5 minutes ago. A band from Tennessee called KNOLL is coming to town. I don't know if I've spoken about them on here. I feel like I probably did because this fucking album blew me away when I heard it. This is just, it's relentless. It's unbelievable. So I've sent a message to my son, see if he'll escort a senior citizen to this show because fuck me, dude. I want to see this live. Um, yeah, I'm very excited about it, as you can probably tell. I'd wanted to order the record from them, order a shirt from them, but as it usually is, it was too expensive. Obviously, they have prices on here that are insane because they don't want you to go through Bandcamp. They want you to come to their website and they want you to buy from them or at a show. But this is who they are. Have a listen to their stuff on Bandcamp. I will put a link in the description. It's at a place in town, Side Stage, I think is what it's called. I'm not familiar with it. I don't know if that's the name that they're calling the Park Theater these days. Pardon me, there's a place kind of in the south end of town. So I'm looking forward to that, which means that you'll see a new shirt in one of the probably next week's video. You'll see a KNOLL shirt and probably a record. Very excited about that. Check out if they're touring. If you do like the album, if they are on a tour right now, finishing up in Canada, and then I think going back to the States. I'm not sure. Anyway, no chat this afternoon with Rasa. I had a board meeting with kind of the union stuff I've undertaken. It becomes harder, especially when I'm on a show, to make time during the day. At nighttime, I have time, like, 11 o'clock p.m. Winnipeg time, but obviously that doesn't even begin to work for Rasa on her side of the planet. So this is, you just get me. You just got to look at my mug. I'll show you a couple of things that I won't be talking about, or at least one that I won't be talking about, because I'm going to wait to talk about this from Rasa with Rasa. This was the thumbnail this week, TMNT Journeys. Peter Laird and Jim Lawson. So from the little bit that I read about this, I think this is volume 4 of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, 20 something years ago, 25 years ago. I'm not exactly sure the timeline. Reprinted for the first time. I guess I don't know how many issues it was. I didn't do it that deep of a dive into it. But I had no idea this was coming. This was on the shelves. And it's fantastic. Really, really great, actually. But I want to wait to talk to Rasa about this one. And speaking of Ninja Turtles, check out our boy 420. He just scored some Turtles books, including I think 10 of the City at War single issues from a local place, which I'm hoping I'll get a chance to go and see. There's a collection that's been bought, and the Electric Wizard, even. Good evening, Modit Part. He recently bought a collection, and it sounds like there's some pretty incredible stuff in there. He picked up a graphic novel, 47 Ronin, as well. I did an order just recently to my comic shop because I could. I sold a tape on Discogs. It was a tape from this old arts magazine. $175 is what I had it listed for forever. Someone grabbed it, so I ended up supporting Fantagraphics as well. For those of you who don't know about Fantagraphics, Diamond Distribution, there's a bunch of publishers that are going after them because Diamond, apparently, from what I read in the Fantagraphics article, they're selling product and they're not passing that money on to the publishers. They're keeping it for themselves. Fuck that. Fuck them. So I'm glad that Fantagraphics is fighting them. No surprise that they would fight them. So they have a 30% off sale going on right now. I'd urge you, everybody watching this, to go and pick, even if it's just one thing, go and pick something up. I picked up a nice stack of things, which I'm looking forward to. I think I got the Spain Volume 1. I got Julie Grosferrer book. I got an issue of Now that I was missing. What else did I get? I feel like I got one more book possibly. Anyway, we'll see when it eventually comes in. So support Fantagraphics, fuck Diamond, read comics, and get high with Electric Wizard. There you go. What else was I going to say? I was on a separate rant and I got sidetracked. Oh, so this little collection that came through. So I ended up doing an order to my comic shop, and one of the things that I got was 2 issues of 47 Ronin, because I have issue number 1. I wanted to get them in single issues, and then I see on his video that he got the collected. It's really, really great. The one issue that I've read, I've heard good, or I've read good things about it. Looking forward to getting that. But more importantly, there was yet another in my Rick McCollum quest has popped up that I grabbed. Autumn something or other. Maybe we'll look as I'm sort of bullshitting here and talking. So that was kind of the main reason that I wanted to do an order from them. So I picked up a few books, 17 books or something. Autumn Earth is what it's called. Let's do a little share screen here. Here you go here. So for $3.90, I've had this one. Again, I've had this on my wish list for a while. Autumn Earth Tales from the End of Time. So I'm looking forward to seeing this. I believe the whole book is Rick McCollum, but I guess I'll find out when I get it. So really looking forward to this. I have reached out to Rick through one of the Facebook groups that I'm a part of, and he did respond. He's got some new work coming. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, I'm trying to organize a bit of a chat with him, a bit of an interview that I'm hoping to submit to Canon. So, spoiler alert, I guess, I don't know. But I'm hoping that pans out. He's been receptive. I'd sent him a message years ago. Well, maybe not years ago, maybe a year ago or something. And I don't know how much he checked the messages because it just went unread. Maybe he gets messages from people and just doesn't read them. So I'm hopeful that all pans out, because I'd love to talk to the guy. And especially now that I have some of his Eros books, I've got, a bunch of his other back issues, stuff he's did with Ninja Turtles. I'm hoping that I can have a bit of a conversation with them and touch on some of the work and those kind of things. So fingers crossed that works out. I may reach out to him again, actually talking about this in maybe 2 weeks. He wanted to wait a little bit for a conversation because he's hopeful that he can actually finish some of this work, and then he'll have something to kind of promote as well. He is working on comics. If you follow him, or if you kind of hang around some of the Facebook groups that he's a part of, you'll kind of see. I think he's part of one of the underground comics groups that I'm part of, or maybe it was Pacific to Eternity, the independent comic group. Anyway, one of the groups or a couple of the groups. So that's pretty sweet. Looking forward to getting that stuff. You get the Hate Revisited. Yeah, I have the individual issues. Is there extra in the collection there, Modip part? And Eros Score was choice. Thank you very much. We're going to be talking about a couple of those here this week because I did dive into some of those. So I feel like there was one other thing I was going to talk about, but I don't remember. If it comes to me, we will sidetrack. Yo, Big D, what up? So let's dig into what we got. I gotta say, it was a pretty solid week of reading. I don't remember. Did I talk about these Star Jongular collection issues? Because we'll probably start here. These were impossible to read. I think maybe I just talked about the first one. They were impossible to read, but gorgeous. I know I've talked about them in some capacity, so that's all I'll say about them. I would still say they're worth picking up if you see them in a bin. I wouldn't pass them up because there's just really some beautiful moments in here, especially in issue 2. I would suggest maybe if you only can afford one of them at 50 cents a piece when you find them, get issue number 2, because I would say that art wise, issue number 2 is even a step ahead, even though issue number 1 is gorgeous. Daredevil Cold Day in Hell is finally finished. Issue number 3 came out. I'm not sure when. I don't know if it was this week or if it was last week or what. Um, Overall, I would say a great read. I would encourage you to get it. I don't know if it ended. I mean, let me just say this. At the end of the day, it's a superhero book. At the end of the day, you're here on this channel. You know my general feelings about some of the superhero stuff that I dip my toes into. I really love Daredevil. I really love the art in this. I really enjoyed that first issue. The second issue was fairly solid as well. I think that there's an inevitable end when it comes to these kind of superhero comics that maybe is, played out a little bit, but overall, honestly, I did enjoy it. I froze up there for a sec. Hopefully, I'm okay. Overall, I really did enjoy it, and it was a fun read. But again, with some of this stuff, it's the art that drew me into it, and it's the art that kind of kept me going, and the fact that it was only a 3-issue miniseries. Even as beautiful as this art is, if this was something that they were looking to kind of, pardon me, extend, I don't know if I'd make it. Um, a nice, not again, pardon me, not a bad ending at all. But again, I don't know if it was much of a surprise, really. I think, again, I hate to keep referring to the guy. He's going to think I'm stalking him or something. But I think 420 talked about it in his video as well. Just about you sometimes want some of this kind of thing to reach that level of modern day classics. I don't know what that drive is, but I think it's exciting to think that you might be in on the ground floor of something like, holy shit, this is an incredible thing. I wonder how this is going to pan out. Is this going to be something that's considered a classic down the road? Very enjoyable stuff. Really glad that I picked it up. I don't know if it's going to make it to like top reads of the year or anything. What very well might make it to top reads of the year is almost everything else I'm about to talk about. Shout out to Gore Vidal. Let's see. A bizarre story out of nowhere and not hate related is in the Hate Revisited trade. Oh, I loved the book. Amazing. Hey, Damien, I grew to love the series as well as it was going, and I was honestly a little sad to see it go. It's one of those things of, I would have easily been there for issue after issue after issue. Um, and then Damien says the end of the Cold Day in Hell was a bit of a fizzle, but fun getting there. Yes, it's the art. Yeah, exactly. Got the DD Cold Day in Hell trade on order. Excellent. Hopefully you dig it. Shout out to Gore Vidal. Gore Vidal is the only other person that I've really ever heard talk about the killer affairs of the state. Dude, Gore Vidal, where are you, man? Where are you? Have you read this? Holy hell. This is probably my favorite. This is shaping up to be my favorite killer arc of all of the issues that I've read. This is an unbelievably there's darkness in the killer that I do enjoy. There's kind of this bleakness. There's this what's the point kind of thing. Even though there is very much a point to things. And I think that that's what makes this so enjoyable. There's this real dark overtones, but as usual, there is still a little bit of something. You can always tell that he's sort of kidding himself a little bit. He is making choices. Yes, he's 98% means everything that he says, but you can always tell there's just somehow they managed to get this tiny bit of a sliver in there where he starts to kind of contradict himself a little bit, just in the presentation. This is the strongest issue I've read of this arc for sure, but probably of all of them that I've read. I loved this book. I immediately went back and started flipping through it again when I finished it. It does make me want to revisit Affairs of the State 1, that book 1, because that one, the first time I read it, I wasn't taken by it. There wasn't much there for me. I remember very, very small moments of it, but this one is an exceptional issue. And again, the art doesn't really draw me in as far as the storytelling goes. I enjoy the art, but if this was something on the shelf and it was any other story, I would pick it up, open it, and probably put it back down, to be honest. But strong, strong writing in this one, man. So highest of recommendations. This is absolutely shaping up to be something that will be on the year-end list. Because man, oh man, Gorvidal, talk to me in the comments after this if you end up watching this on replay. Let me know what you think. So that's The Killer. That can go over there. Another surprising read for me. This time, shout out to Daryl DTV. He said something similar. I think he said that Banner was one of his favorites, if not his favorite Corbin drawn comic. This one kind of surprised the hell out of me, to be honest. I do enjoy when people kind of play with the superheroes that they're covering. Some of this stuff is very, very surface level, like just under the surface. It's not stuff that's really taking a deep dive into a character and really giving it a twist. This is stuff that's very, very just under that surface, but honestly, so good. Bruce, it starts out with the Hulk just laying waste to people, and as usually happens, from what I understand, I haven't read a ton of Hulk comic books, but when Bruce Banner does make an appearance, there's a real sense of, oh my God, what have I done? Oh my God, how am I going to deal with this, etc., etc. I don't want to spoil anything about this. This first issue ended on me looking at it and going, what the fuck? What the hell is that? How did that, did that really happen? You know, of course, it is still a Marvel comic, so there is still some things. And then the way the whole 4 issues ended, I really enjoyed as well. Maybe the very, very last panel I could have done without. I think that sometimes that's kind of overselling it. And then on top of it, you get just stunning Corbin art. Like, what is that fucking camera angle? It's unreal. So, man, did I love this book. This was such a good book. I'm so thankful that this came into my hands. So huge, huge, huge shout out to 420 for supplying me with issues 1 to 3. Fucking stunner, a stunner of a book. In return, I'm gonna buy him a tripod for his goddamn camera, because shaky cam must end. Issue number 3 here. And then issue number 4, which is the only one that I had. So, man, what a fucking book. Modit Part, Banner rocks hard. Pick up Punisher, the end, and your Corbin collection is complete. Okay, I will look for that. What I also found out was that there's a Fantastic Four from this Startling Stories. I guess they had a few things out. There's a Fantastic Four that's drawn by Guy Davis. I don't remember what that's called off the top of my head, but that's something that's now on my radar, added to lists and things, because I'd love to get my hands on that as well. Again, I don't dislike the Fantastic Four, just like I have the same feeling about the Fantastic Four that I have about the Hulk. I nothing against it. I haven't read enough to know much about the characters. I know very basics. But I am curious to see some Guy Davis art and see what that story is like. Um, and then as we wind down, we will end the night. I wish I could now dim the lights or something. Give us the comic crack after dark treatment. We'll talk about a couple of Eros titles. So this is Come Again, 3-issue miniseries. Issue 3, although issue 3 ends with to be continued. This is a bizarre book. I really enjoyed it. I will say, first of all, the thing that I think I loved about this the most, I love McCollum's art. I love it. I find it fascinating to have him drawing like an erotic comic, because I wouldn't necessarily say that his drawings are anything close to erotic. I may have said it before, but I'll say it again. But that said, there's this whole kind of right out of the gate. There's a marriage. This guy takes his shoes off to kind of be one with the earth, and he starts seeing these past lives and these kind of spirits, I guess, for lack of a better word, floating amongst the couple. He makes this connection. This is with this woman that he's met, and there's a lot of talk about past lives throughout time, and they have this connection that they've had for eternity. And they sort of, this first issue, they revisit those moments and kind of go on that journey together. Kind of pretty cool. I should say, sorry, I don't know if I said it. So the story is by Kathleen Hurley, which is a name I don't know. Cover by Rick McCollum, inside art by Rick, and then inked by Bill Cavalier. So solid stuff. And of course, because it's my channel, we're not censoring things here. You can deal with boobs and wieners. Then we kind of get more of the story as it goes on to this. So this one is very much this first issue sort of sets the stage for something that's a little more positive potentially. At the end of it, though, he does die. Our main character dies, and this is when issue 2 is when things get a little weird. It just kind of gets a little darker as he starts to get reminded of who he is and where he comes from sort of this netherworld, underworld, traveling through kind of hell. So solid book, man. Really good. Got to pick up Come Again. Please review the box so I don't feel alone in my trauma. We are going to be talking about box next there, Modid part. So we get this as well too. One of these gods turns another one into this insect. So really nice from the kind of mostly uplifting hippie kind of vibe to this real darkness. And then we ended off with this third issue, which was probably the weakest of the issues. This one we go back to kind of like prehistoric times, and we are still checking in with our characters in this particular life. It almost felt like this one didn't link as closely to these first two. There was just something about the third issue that I don't know if I dug that one as much, but overall a really great read. Again, like with some of this so-called dirty stuff and pornographic stuff, yes, there's many books where they are just they're one-trick ponies, pun intended. But this one had a little more going for it, so I enjoyed that one. So this one, fuck me, dude. I mean, Modid part, what the hell do you say about Box? This was a fucking strange book, dude. 6-issue series. There's a psychopath escaped from an asylum. There's a serial killer. There's a guy with a giant apple for a head who bites the head off of people and always has his dick out. There is just the thing that was kind of fantastic about this first issue is all this bizarre shit is happening, and there's sex and fucking and cum splashing all over the place, but it's this really bizarre material. Such an odd, it's such a strange book, dude. Every single issue also starts off with this kind of like push in, pun intended again, on kind of our main scene before we start getting our storytelling. It's crazy, and also the way that the book the story sort of unfolds. We get this first issue, the second issue we flash back in time, the third issue we're back in time again, I think, and then fourth issue we're kind of dealing with a different character, etc. So um I honestly don't know what to say about it. So when we first get our Applehead character, he hey boy, what are you doing looking in those windows, and why you got your pecker out? And I'm a challenge. You're lucky I'm not a cop, so I'm just going to challenge you to a sword fight. So they end up having a little bit of a joust, so to speak. And again, it's just sex after filth every single page. These two main female characters are so uninterested in sex unless it's something that's pretty traumatic that's happening. There's this car accident that happens. Even the police officer and his partner, he's getting a blowjob as they're going to respond to a 911 call. So the way that it treats sex in this is just that everybody has these urges and are acting on them at all times throughout the entire fucking book. So a very bizarre, inclassifiable is what Medit Part is saying, and the horror. Um, I mean, I don't know if I was necessarily traumatized by it, but it was a very unusual read. It's such, again, a strange mix of having these characters in this kind of dirty sex book. It's so strange. Yeah, it's so strange. I mean, there's some of the there's some of these Eros titles where it's very clear they're doing pinups, they're dealing with Betty Page, all of these things. They're dealing with, the canon and stuff like that, right? But then they're still doing these oddities. This one and the other one that's sort of paired with this often when I've seen some of these ads are Spank, which I kind of want to reread again. I do have this one and have read it and probably talked about it, but I do kind of want to reread it. They sort of are paired together when you see some of the ads about what Eros was doing as kind of oddball titles. So again, leave it to Fantagraphics to do dirty porn comics, but still have some artists involved with some of this that are bringing something. I don't know what they're bringing to it or why they're bringing it to us, but it's something. So I'll just show you all the covers here. Yeah, so it's fun. I was watching. There's a guy that I watch. I've talked about before, named Chicho. Yeah, Netflix will option box. Chicho had a stream today. He picked up some Eros titles as well recently and was showing them off. And he was showing off some manga. Mistress something or other. I'm not sure. The only thing I haven't read yet, I haven't read. There's a little bit of back matter here. There's a little bit of text, so I haven't read that yet. Yeah, that's the only thing that I haven't kind of dug through. So something, man. Yeah, hails to Fanta indeed. I mean, it's incredible. It's incredible the stuff that they get behind. So again, on that note, that's everything that I read. What up next is The Darker Side of Sex, which is more Rick McCallum Eros stuff. So 4-issue miniseries there that is slated to be read. I've got some of the Alien stuff out as well too. This is Aliens Survival. I'm missing issue number 1 of this one, but I now have where is it here? This one. I now have all 4 issues of Aliens Earth War, so That's going to be one that I read too. I think, is this Sam Keith in this one? I think. I don't remember who's doing the art in this, but looking forward to that. And then I've got some other stuff. I'm going to read some Captain Harlock and that sort of thing. I might dig into some of these canon as well too, this Wallace Woods canon, but looking at it, I'm not crazy about when they reprint stuff like that and they put it kind of landscape, so you got to read the book flipped onto its side. I'm not so keen on that stuff. That is it. That's all. That's all I read. For those of you who know about the radio show, I'll show you a couple of other things. Actually, one other thing here. I finally found a copy of Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow by Tom King and Bilquis Evely, I believe, and Matthias Lopez. This was suggested. I didn't know that this existed until I was reading Helen of Windstorm. Is that what it was called? I can't remember the title. I think that's what it's called. And was told that, hey, if you like this, you should check out the Supergirl one. And I've been looking for single issues and or a trade, and neither have been out there. So this one finally, they had a copy at Galaxy Comics. So I grabbed a hold of that. I'm actually really looking forward to digging into this again, drawing me into characters that I would really never care about at all due to the creative team and how much I enjoyed that Helen book there. So looking forward to digging into that. For those of you who have heard or listened to the radio show on UMFM, the family and I have been doing a radio show for quite a while now. I think we started doing recordings from home during lockdowns during COVID, because we were all pre-recording our show. So I pre-recorded the family, and we kind of did a couple of shows from here. This one of the station managers, Jared, was a big fan of the stuff that we were doing, and he had a time slot on Saturdays at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time till 5 p.m. We were on this last show because of our ridiculous job that does kind of end up pissing you off sometimes, to be totally honest, working in film, just because of the schedules you can be on. We've now just had 2 months where we haven't been able to make it on Saturdays because we've been working on weekends, because this last show had us working sort of, I was on Tuesday to Saturday and my wife was on Wednesday to Sunday. So we just couldn't get down to it. He's let us know, unfortunately, they have quite a lineup of people that want to get a show. So he's sort of apologetically said, you got till the end of the month, and I'm afraid we're going to have to kind of pass your show on to somebody else, which we completely understand. It's not a, he was super nice about it. We're still going to do some specials as a family. I love doing Halloween specials and we love doing Christmas specials. He wants us to still contribute stuff if we want to kind of take over his time slot a couple of times to do some guest appearances. He's all for that. So we just had our second last show on Saturday. This coming Saturday will be our final family show. So you can listen to UMFM online. So I'll try to put a link in the description as well here, so you can link up. I'll link it directly up to the Dead Air page. It's also one of the things of back in 1999, the first incarnation of Dead Air out in Waterloo, Ontario. So it's nice. It's been nice to kind of think about the time on the radio and stuff that I've done on radio for 26 years at this point, with a huge break in between the Ontario one and the one here in Winnipeg. But if you're into it and if you want to hear some music and things that we play as a family, please join us in some form or another, whether it's live or on the replay. They do archive shows. Support and have a listen, tune in and hear some music and hear the family. More importantly, hear the entire family just kind of celebrate our final show for the time being. Thanks very much, everybody, and I guess we will see you next week. I don't want to promise anything, but I'm fairly sure that I actually might have a Sunday to actually chat with Rasa during the daylight hours. So we'll see how that goes. That's it. Right on. Talk to you.